Welcome, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining us here today in this next installment of the CNFT Festival. Today's episode is the anime conference. So we've got a lot of Cardano NFT projects here that are interested in anime, have a passion for anime. We're going to be getting into that here in this video. So of course, a big thank you to Yori and Vic with the Hidden Order for putting this all together. So big thank you. To start things off, we're going to go through some introductions. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. My name is Pritesh with Kaizen Crypto. In this next installment of the CNFT Festival, it is all about anime. This is the anime conference, and today we're joined by several Cardano NFT projects that are focusing specifically with this, with their artwork. So really excited to be joined by this great group here today. But before we start, big thank you first to Yori and Vic with the Hidden Order for putting this CNFT Festival together. What we're going to do to start is go through some introductions. Joining us here, we have Senpai Abe with Cardano Waifus.
Howdy, howdy.
Next is Rao with Sensei Across Paradise.
Hello, everyone.
All right, welcome. We've also got Quranic and Day with Project Wights.
Hello, よろしくお願いします。
Hello, everyone, as well.
All right, perfect. Welcome, welcome. And then lastly, we've got Zushan with Ada Ninjaz.
G'day, everyone. How you going?
Very cool. Well, welcome, everybody. Really excited to be talking with you here today. What we're going to do is just go ahead and talk about all things anime. So I guess what we can do is we'll go through, now that we've gone through some introductions, we'll just talk a little bit about each of your respective projects. So Abe, Senpai Abe, welcome, man. You want to tell us a little bit about Cardano Waifus?
Yeah, so I got a little presentation I got here for you guys. Let me make sure I have it on the right screen. Perfect. All right. Alrighty, so my project is Cardano Waifus. And this is a little presentation I made. A little bit about me. I'm from the US, and I've been a lover of anime since I was 5. I used to watch it in my father's basement. Watched a whole bunch of Dragon Ball Z from like, oh man, every day after school. I've seen over 60 kinds of different animes. I love making music, animals, and spending time with my friends. And then a little bit about my project. Cardano Waifus is a NFT project on the Cardano blockchain. We focused on waifus communities and charitable donations, which I'll get into a little bit more later. Each come with a unique personality and bio. Each have unique sounds and voice. There's only 1,000 that will ever be created of each waifu, and there's 5 rarity types. So each rarity has added visual and audio effects. The audio effects were made by me, which is something that I like to do in my spare time, the custom sounds, music, etc., etc. When it comes to the charity and giveaways, when waifus sell out, 1,000 ADA is donated to charity of that waifu's choice. We donated for Cardano Waifu sellouts. It's the right love on our arms. And not only that, whenever a sellout happens, there's also ADA giveaways. We do it also for tiers based as well. And then airdrops and 3D waifus. So once again, we do something else really cool. Whenever a sellout happens, we do chibi airdrops. The first one and the only one in existence right now is Chibi Cardano Waifu. Chibis are limited to 200 and they're randomly airdropped to holders. 3D waifus is something that we just released not too long ago. Actually today in the Discord, not yet public, but it is on the Discord. In order to get one of these bad boys, all you got to do is have a Cardano waifu in your wallet and send it on in along with 3 ADA, and you'd be able to get one of these. And last but not least, if you need anything else, want to learn more information, or want to ask any questions, you can always check out my website, cardanowaifus.com, and you can always check my Discord as well. All right, now how do I, there we go.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much for sharing that, Abe. I do have to say a big domo arigato for the Kaizen waifus. That I loved seeing that, just to see what you did with it and then having it in 3D too was really cool.
Oh yeah. I'm excited to release them as time progresses one by one. And I'm excited to see what people do with these because there's also a downloadable link. So anybody that gets their little 3D waifu, they can download it and do what they please with it, to an extent kind of thing. But I really want people to like start using them in metaverse, maybe in like video games or something, like just have fun with them.
Definitely. No, I really want to get into that more in our conversation today, but let's keep these introductions going. So next we've got Raul with Sensei Across Paradise.
So hi to everyone. I'm here to talk about Sensei Across Paradise. It's not just an NFT PFP, but it has already a utility project. So we actually started with two issues that the community face most of the times now in Cardano. So the first thing is that when people want to buy an NFT and ape into that, sometimes they are already asking when utility. Well, then that's how we started. We asked ourselves, what utility can we provide with our NFTs? And the other thing is that the rate, the amount of rate of projects that are going on Cardano every day is exponentially growing. So it's hard to keep up to the date or remember all the projects that are going on. So we said, okay, what about projects that already provide a utility and helps people to keep up with all the anime projects that are around Cardano? And that's how everything started. We started to speak with different anime projects at, I think, late December, asking them if they were into a possibility to make a collaboration. And we did. We reached 7 projects, and all of them decided to become our airdroppers. So the utility with our NFT is that they will receive, the holders of our NFT will receive exclusive NFTs from each of them. It is really interesting because when we started, these were some of the anime projects in Cardano, and now that we are in 2022, there are even more. So this is related to the issue that we said that it's hard to keep up to the date. So we are a team that does everything in-house. We have the development side, the social media part, the artist. All of the development and the planning is done by our team, and you can find us on Discord. We are really open to any question and any information. And another thing that we said is, okay, we heard that some people were complaining about the fact that not every PFP was representative of everyone. Many PFP projects, for instance, had most male characters. So we decided to create a variation of skin colors, genders, in order that everyone could feel inclusive, could feel himself included in the projects. So this is the dates that how we are going to release our drop, starting for with a whitelist in order that people that joined us at the beginning are able to mint without stress, and then a public sales for everyone. Our planning is, besides the utility, is to keep up with some projects and some rewards to our holders. And in the last part of the year, we would like to implement a marketplace with smart contracts that is mainly focused in anime projects. So for as marketing campaign, we decided also not just to do collaboration with anime projects, but with main projects in Cardano. In this case, as you can see, the Happy Hoppers Club. So here you can see some of our NFTs, and there are many particular traits that are related to anime, we decided to change them and tweak them a little bit to make our style. And here you can find all the links, our website, the marketplace where you can trade them, and also our handle for Twitter. So this is my short presentation, and I hope that you enjoyed it.
Very nice. Yes, thank you for that, Raul. I think that the idea of providing utility is very nice. It's interesting to see you have a timeline in place with this smart contract marketplace as well for all of these different anime NFTs. Very excited to see that. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Next, we have Kuranik and Day. Welcome.
Thanks, Pritesh. It's a pleasure to be here. Let me share my screen. We also have our own presentation here. Yep. So yes, once again, we're Project Wights. Thanks for having us. It's a pleasure to be here at CNFT Festival. I am Chronic from Project Wights, and to meet with today we have with us Day as well. A bit about myself. I am a Cardano stake pool operator. I run the Beaver Cardano stake pool. And for Project Wights, I am a generalist developer. I've helped develop things on the website to do the NFT distribution and also some of the Unity development that we're doing. And Day here is our translator from Japanese to English for the project, and he is also our Unity developer. The rest of the members of the Wights team, we have Chow Fun. He's our lead Unity developer. He's also an employee of Unity. And our creative lead and art design team is Munisex and Hare Konatsu. And they are responsible for all the art and everything that you see related to the art for Project Wights. They also are producers of the Fault Universe series. It's a visual novel game that's available on Steam and Nintendo Switch. They have about 500,000 purchases for that visual novel, so go and check them out. Yeah, so most of us here, we're professionals in our daytime jobs. For myself, I'm a software engineer of 10 years. For Day, he's been translating for, tell us a little bit about yourself, Day. I shouldn't be speaking on you.
I don't even know how many years I've been translating, to be honest. But yeah, many years. And I am currently situated in Japan, which makes it really early right now when we're recording this. So I'm just going to let Chronic do most of the talking because I just woke up.
All right, thanks, Day. All right, so let's talk about the project. So before we begin, we'll have this video trailer for you to sort of get yourself immersed into the universe of Project Wights.
ようこそザイトガイストへ。ここは新人類ワイツたちが生きる電子世界。ワイツとは何か、その存在を語るには人類の存在が欠かせない。かつて人類は SNS、チャット、ブログ、動画、その人生をさまざまな電子データとして残した。好きな食べ物、行った場所、得意なこと、たわいない会話、一個人の残したあらゆる情報は人類が滅亡した後も存在し続けた。そしてそのデータは単なる記録にとどまらず、意思を持ち始めたのだった。これがワイツの始まりである。ここザイトガイストでは、人が残したデータから生まれた存在をワイツと呼んでいる。長い歴史の中で見れば、新人類とも言える存在だ。彼らは自分のルーツであるオリジナルが残した情報、ソウルデータをその身に宿している。そのワイツの一人、シグナル。彼女はアメリカと日本、2つの国にルーツを持つ成瀬シグレから生まれた。そのソウルデータはどんなものであるのか、シグナルのことを知ればわかるかもしれない。とはいえ、彼女は新しいワイツを迎える準備の真っ最中。ザイトガイストアドミンズの人事部員として今日も奔走しているのだ。新しく迎えるのはどんなワイツか、それはまだ誰も知らない。
All right, so the team, the five of us got together because we shared a common love for gaming, anime, and blockchain. So that's pretty much how the project was born. So we are an NFT project with art direction originating from Japan, again, from Unisix and Hara Konatsu-san. Our NFTs are fully animated, high production quality NFTs, and we have a vision for using these NFTs in gaming. So there is our latest release, Ichimi. As you can see, it's fully animated and has audio. So our vision for gaming is, to apply, well, like what Raul mentioned earlier, utility is a big question for NFTs, and people are dying to use their NFTs for something, right? So we have a particular vision towards gaming, and today there is this really bad narrative around NFTs and gaming, because the current most popular NFT games are mostly uninteresting or have a sort of pay to win system that plays like a chore. So people generally don't really think of NFTs and gaming as a good thing. So our challenge here is to sort of try to change the narrative around NFT gaming. So our focus right now is to create a fun sort of game for people that use NFTs and that has a low barrier of entry. And we also want to extenuate the purpose of NFTs in that they're things that allow people to own part of the game, right? If you have an NFT, it's in your wallet, you're an owner of it. So it's our job to try to return that power of ownership back to the players. And players that own and collect our NFTs should have an ownership of the piece of the game and the characters, and to be able to use them in game. So we're planning to make Project Wights a story-based 3D adventure puzzle game. We have a visual novel engine that we're introducing as part of the game, leveraging the work that Unisix and Hara Konatsu-san already do. So we're planning to have an immersive story with this engine here that you can see. This is also playable on our website. And today we have 2 character NFTs. The first one is a Signal. She's the guide to Zeitgeist. She's our first character. She's introduced as the person to sort of explain the entire universe of Zeitgeist to the player. And Ichimi is our second release, and she will be the active player character in the game and was recently born from data from Signal. Our current roadmap is as such. In Q2 of this year, we're planning our 3rd character release. Holders of Ichimi and Signal will already be able to mint this character at a discounted price, just so that we don't increase our barriers of entry, so that people that already have purchased characters in the past will be able to use characters in the future. We're planning to have a game demo, which introduces the players to the world of Zeitgeist and to introduce players to the combat and starter puzzles that we're introducing. And for utility, we're going to have players be able to select own skins for Signal, Ichimi, and their accompanied godfathers. So Ichimi has accompanied fairy godfathers, which are all algorithmically generated and unique. So if players own these characters in their wallets, they'll be able to choose different skins essentially for them to appear in game. For Q4, we're going to have our 4th character NFT drop. So the holders of all these characters will again be able to purchase this 4th character at a discounted price. And we're also going to have updates to our game. We'll have these new characters introduced and the next chapter of the story and new levels as well as new NFT utility features. The first being this 1st edition game key NFTs. So to access chapters beyond this demo, players will be able to must own either the Project Wights character NFT or a game key NFT. This is the objective of this is to, again, lower the barrier of entry. Sometimes people might not be interested in collecting characters. So in that case, you can just purchase a game key and then just be able to play through story mode. The second mode is the second piece of utility is this quantum whale mode, where players will be able to participate in a hardcore mode of the game, where each NFT counts towards your abilities. This will come with its own set of challenges and own set of rewards. So players that do wish to collect NFTs can do so and be rewarded in doing so. We're also planning to include a community-driven story. So in story mode, using the visual novel system, players will be presented with decisions to make in game for their character. And this decision making will count towards a vote towards the overall progression of the Project Wights story. So, players will be in power of how the direction of the story will essentially go, and votes will be weighted by how many character NFTs they are holding at that time. And that's pretty much it for our project. We have lots of plans for the future, and keep your eyes on us and keep your eyes up for us to make, hopefully, do big things. And thank you for having us. The website, Twitter, Discord is all up on the slides here. So yeah, please visit us and keep your eyes on us. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, excellent presentation. I really like the artwork, the 3D animations with the sound for the NFTs. And then also just to think about some of the utility right off the bat. You're going to be creating this game, but then what you're doing is as well as incentivizing holders of these tokens to later on down the road be able to purchase future NFT drops. So cool stuff. All right. And then we've also got Zushan with Ada Ninjaz. What's going on? Welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me. Firstly, just want to say I'm super humbled and honored to be here amongst, great projects, great people, Yuri, Pritesh, Abe, Chronic, Raul. I've had the pleasure of working on different things with Abe and Raul in the past. I think I'm going to have to get in touch with Chronic very, very soon. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me, guys. I will start off by showing you a quick video about Ada Ninjaz. So that was just a very quick introduction via video for Ada Ninjaz. And what I will do now is actually share my screen and run you guys through what we are doing. And yeah, for a little bit of context, this is the Ada Ninjaz website. I will start off with our team. So you can see here, that is yours truly right there in the middle, Zushan. Tommy is my co-founder. We're both Australia-based. And Ignacio is our head of story or our chief creative officer. He is based in Germany, but is originally from Argentina. And if you look through the rest of the team, we work closely with NFT Maker and Leaf Agency to do our front end and back end development. We also have Mirai Music based out of LA, Ricardo and Jacopo, who run all of our music side of things. And we've got a large team with a bunch of other people doing a bunch of other amazing stuff. Just a quick shout out to V, who is our NFT artist. And then we've got Juan here, who is one of our manga artists. And essentially we are doing a bunch of stuff. We have had 2 seasons of our NFTs sold out, and I'll just show you very, very quickly what these seasons are about. So this was our first season over here, the Aramar clan. And as you can see, we also went with, in fact, in the Aramar clan, to be inclusive, we did not identify it on the basis of gender. So you may have, a character that is male, female, or non-binary, whatever it may be. And we have also set up a how to build section so that you can see what our NFTs look like and how they are built. So this is the example of the RMR clan, which was launched in October last year. And then if we move to season 2, the Atsuko clan, which is a very different style of manga art. If you have a look through these different avatars, what we essentially wanted to do was showcase different manga art through each of our seasons. And similar to the first one, this is how an Atsuko ninja is built. So you can see, again, similar process, but very, very different. Season 3 for the Daisuke clan has not yet released, but to give you context about what we do, we are essentially a multimedia entertainment business based around manga and anime. And we've been quite lucky to have an incredible team and an incredible community help us create this world of Nineveh, where the capital is Asahi over here. And the interesting thing about Nineveh is that it's based in the real world, just 10 years ahead from 2022, so in 2032. And the northern tip is very close to Japan, and the southern tip is not too far from Papua New Guinea. So the people of Nineveh have gone through a very similar process as a lot of other, or similar history as a lot of other countries in that region, in that, you know, they were colonized by the Japanese, they were colonized by the Spanish, the British, and so on. And what this has done is resulted in a smorgasbord of cultures that has enabled people from all around the world to be living today in Nineveh. However, our story is about the 3 clans, the RMR, the Atsuko, and the Daisuke. Each of these clans has something unique to them, something unique going on, which I won't get into too much, but you can check it out on our website. The key focus of our project is the manga, and we have released our first manga already. So you can sort of see it here. The community has helped us determine the story of this manga. So we are now at 110 pages of volume 1, which can be read on our website. The whole story is there. Everything's in detail. If you hold any of our rare NFTs, they feature in the manga. You get all the concept art as NFTs sent to you, that sort of thing. All of these manga pages are split up and minted as NFTs and raffled between our holders. So if you hold a ninja, you may end up getting a manga panel, which is something that we provide to you. But this is the whole manga story, and this is essentially what we are up to on this front. So you can always go through and have a skim through the project, a little bit about you know, us ourselves, and not you know, one of the key things for us was to not be to be running a Japan, or rather manga inspired project, and not being Japanese ourselves. So how do we ode or give our respects to obviously the masters of this world and the work that they've done? And one thing we've really tried to do is separate our manga from traditional manga, in that, one, it's read left to right, not right to left. Secondly, the story is very, very, it's got a lot of Western elements in it. So if you read through the manga, it's gonna stand out to you that it's fairly different from, you know, if you're reading Demon Slayer or Attack on Titan or whatever it might be. So that's been something that's super, super important to us. And here we are, season 3 is coming out later on in the year. What I will do is I'll quickly run you through our roadmap. So, you know, Q4 2021, we did a bunch of stuff, which has all been completed, and we've been fortunate enough to do that. Our music video, which is an anime inspired music video for song 1, has also completed and is now on YouTube. And obviously now that we're in Q2 2022, you're going to see a lot of things happening. Our physical manga, the first edition, is coming out, and it's going to be linked with NFTL, if you're familiar with them. So it is a chip that allows you to track the certificate of authenticity. So you will be the only one to actually hold that first edition of the manga. We are musicalizing the manga reading experience. We have the second song out, which the community has written, has picked the beats for, is credited for, all of that sort of stuff. So everything on that front they have done. And yes, once all 3 seasons are out, it's ninjas fighting. They will be going to war. And that means the Great Ninjas Burn will take place, and this will be tied in completely with our story. We're also working on a game. The manga will continue to come out, and our end goal is an anime, but we're integrating the music, the manga, and all the other aspects, of course, the NFTs, and what we do to make that happen. We're quite fortunate with the team and the partners that we have been fortunate enough to, and lucky enough to reach out and be able to connect with the right people in the right places with regards to sort of getting this into production down the line and so on. So thank you very much for listening. Arigatou gozaimasu. My name is Zushan, and I hope you liked this very quick introduction of Ada Ninjas.
Yeah, that was excellent. Very nice presentation. I love the artwork for the manga, and I think that's really cool because you're also incorporating the music element to it as well. So it's like you've got these really great illustrations, but then also the audio to go with it. So we're looking forward to all that. Very exciting. All right, everybody. Well, in this panel, I feel like we've all given a brief introduction of our different projects, what we're looking forward to as far as the roadmaps. Now, I guess to go back to a bit more broad, talking about anime and what got us all into this Japanese art scene, right? Let's go around the room here and just share some ideas and thoughts about maybe our favorite animes. What got us into this to begin with. Yeah, just share some different thoughts and perspectives about that. Anybody want to go to start? Senpai Abe, how about you, man?
Man, I'm always going first. So let somebody else go first.
Okay. Got to change it up a little bit. How about Kironic? Day, you guys have anything?
Yeah, sure. I can start. So I first got into anime from Dragon Ball Z. But it was not out in North America at the time. So I'm located in Canada, and my parents immigrated to Canada. So I was about, I think, 6 years old when I got this VHS of Dragon Ball Z, and relatives had brought it over from overseas, and then we played it on the TV, and then I was just hooked because it was unlike anything I've ever seen. I saw the Super Saiyan transformation, golden hair. I was in love, basically, right? People were shooting beams out of their hands. As a 6-year-old, it was too much excitement. I just wanted to share my love with anime with everyone at that point. Everyone thought I was crazy because this didn't come out at the time, right? So, I was running around the playground going, oh, Son Goku's the best. He's going to beat like everyone in the X-Men. What are you talking about, right? But no one knew who he was until many years later. So that kind of started the whole craze of my love of anime. Since then, I actually got into fan subbing in high school. I helped subtitle some animes back in the day. The most notable one was Prince of Tennis. But yeah, like ever since then, I just love anime. I watch anime. I learned a lot about Japanese culture. I took Japanese class in high school. Yeah, read anime, read manga. Yeah, do all of that stuff. I visited Japan multiple times. Like, yeah, I'm very ingrained in it.
Excellent. That's awesome.
Let me just quickly finish on my side then. Yeah, so Chronic came from Dragon Ball Z. I came from the other side of the spectrum with Cardcaptor Sakura. I was like 10 years old at the time, and it was Cardcaptors on TV. So if anyone's from North America, especially Canada, they might remember there was a time when there was an English dub of Cardcaptor Sakura called Cardcaptors. It was butchered. It was terrible. And even in its incomplete form, it was enough to dazzle me. So that was it. That was how I got in. I watched card captors on TV. I needed more. I started looking around on Kazaa Lite, if anyone remembers that, those days. And I just started looking for more because it was like, I need more of Sakura in my life. She's like my first love and all that, you know? It's a standard process. And that's what got me into anime. But yeah, moving on. Next person to expose their embarrassing backstory.
I guess I'll go for this one. So I touched on it a little bit whenever I was talking about my project, but I started watching it when I was like about 5 years old, in my parents' basement. I started off watching Dragon Ball Z, and watching all of that from all the way from the Raditz saga all the way up to the the Buu saga, and then some after the years, but that's where I started. And growing up, I watched a lot of Western stuff, but more often than not, I really like a lot of the Eastern stuff as well. So I was always watching either some kind of animated cartoon or Power Rangers, right? So after I started staying up a little bit later, I finally got to see something called Adult Swim, and more importantly, Toonami. So I started watching animes like Bleach that way, Code Geass, Space Boy Dandy, a couple of other ones, and I got hooked. I started going on websites like Watch Cartoon Online to watch them, or if I didn't, I sometimes read my mangas online as well. My most recent one I read was Chainsaw Man. It's amazing. But yeah, I personally, I got into all that anime stuff because one, I like the art style. It's amazing. It's incredible. The food that's portrayed on there is amazing. I actually cook some of those foods myself. And more importantly, the stories that are told. I'm a guy that loves good stories. So the way that these stories are visually represented is just something that's helped me grow, not just as a human being, but just as a creator, and as a friend, just giving me an overall better life experience.
That's fantastic. Adult Swim. Interesting.
Yeah, I would go next one then. I I started with Full Metal Alchemist. That was the one that really made me into anime and manga stuff. When I was in high school, actually, I preferred to read. That was what I really like to do in my free time besides hanging out. And starting university and working, I didn't have any more time for reading, and I moved to anime. And that's actually when I started to watch some movies also. I loved Spirited Away. I love Your Name. And yeah, recently I am into Attack on Titan. I'm waiting every Sunday, the last episode. And I recently started also Demon Slayer, and wow, I really like the animation and the art.
I'm sorry, I was just excited about every single one of those that you said.
I can tell.
Love each one.
I'll have to check some of those out. I actually, those all sound like fantastic animes.
All right. Yeah, I'll give you a quick rundown. So I think I can relate to Chronic a lot. I sort of started off with Dragon Ball Z as well. I grew up in Dubai, and yeah, anime was huge there. So I'm originally from Pakistan, moved to Dubai, been in Australia for a very long time. And interestingly, there was an anime called Captain Tsubasa, which is a football anime that used to come in Arabic as Captain Majid. And I didn't understand Arabic as a kid, but I used to watch it anyway. And then we'd go into school to play football or soccer, and everyone wanted to be Captain Majid and his teammates. So that was my first introduction, but then I started really getting into it through Dragon Ball Z, and then Pokemon happened. and they used to do these card battle games at these different showdown locations. So, you know, you'd go from, like, our parents would drop us off, we're like 7 years old, drop us off at 9 in the morning and pick us up at like 7 p.m. in the evening, and it would all be sort of like monitored, and adults would make sure that everyone's okay, and you'd battle with your cards and you'd win badges. So, you know, I won my Boulder badge. I was super happy, that kind of thing, after winning lots of fights. So that was my introduction into it. I think one of the interesting things growing up in a place like Dubai was that you had so many people from so many different places, that you would get influence from all sorts of things. However, anime was so big that we, back when, you know, it was a dial-up internet connection, we used to go into internet cafes, and they would have all the anime preloaded. So I'd go with my friends. I was allowed to go, like, you know, I'm like 12 or 13 now. Once a week, I can watch Naruto, I can watch Bleach, every new episode. So, you know, sometimes we get lucky, we'd be able to go like 2 or 3 times a week, pay them like $5 and watch for like 3 or 4 hours, just sitting in cubicles next to each other, pausing, like, oh my God, did you see Ichigo's Bankai? Yeah, like that sort of thing. However, then, you know, I got really interested in Japanese culture, and I started watching what you call J-dramas. So like Ikebukuro, Westgate Park, things like Great Teacher Onizuka, but not the anime, the actual live action, Liar Game, and stuff like that. So I started watching a lot of those J-dramas as well. And yeah, I kind of, you know, then got busy in life. I'd keep an eye out on what's happening on One Piece. Naruto was sort of finished. Bleach is coming back. I think everyone's super excited for that. More recently, I've gotten back into anime during the COVID lockdown, and I sort of got back into it by watching Demon Slayer. And like yourself, Raul, I'm on Attack on Titan at the moment. I'm watching it with my partner, and we're both like loving it. And I just love saying names of random things in the way they say it in Attack on Titan. So, you know, like we went to, I don't know if anyone saw this Instagram video where, like, if everything was said in Attack on Titan style, it would, you know, when you're in a mall, it would sort of be like Dolce and Gabbana, you know, and like Eren Yeager. So I really love that, and we're having a lot of fun, like, because they're all these like jumbled up names, you know, Western, Eastern, all sorts of stuff, but they're said in the coolest way ever. So I've been having a lot of fun, and I think my wife's a little bit annoyed with me now because I don't stop. I just keep saying the names like that. But that is my anime story. I've read manga in between as well.
Oh man, speaking of manga, you guys are in for a treat if you guys have not read the Attack on Titan manga for the ending. I will say nothing more.
Spoiler alert. Nope. That's awesome. I love that story, Zushan. I can relate a lot to the Pokemon. You know, I was big into the card games as well. And then of course the TV shows, you know, like Pokemon, Naruto. I loved all that kind of stuff. That was kind of like my introduction to it all. Awesome to hear everybody's story. I really enjoyed just hearing a bit of the background. One of the questions that has come up and I feel like is really prominent to what we're talking about here today. So when Japanese creators have a successful project, they want to collaborate with some of the larger names out there, I guess, just in terms of marketing and being able to get more awareness around their project. And it seems like what we have here is a great group of projects and teams who have been able to put some collaborations together. So I guess for anybody who is in the Japanese community who's looking to do something similar to what you all have done, what are some of the tips and suggestions that you could offer?
The real secret is just talk to people, really. Like the anime community is pretty small on Cardano. I think it's pretty small in general, really, right? But if you are looking to collaborate or to want to work with other people or get some ideas, just reach out and talk to people. That's really the crux of it. If you're a Japanese creator and fear speaking English, and it's important to want to step out of your comfort zone, because we do the same too. Like if we want to reach out to Japanese people, we try our best to speak in or at least type in Japanese, right? So that's really the secret behind it, in my opinion, just to try to talk to people.
And just adding on a little bit, if you're a Japanese creator and you have difficulty with English, but you sort of want to do it yourself, machine translation is coming along. So services like DeepL, Google Translate is not the best, but can help you in a pinch. So, if you're ever doing a professional translation like me, I probably don't want to throw something in machine translation and just send it in. But especially for communication, if you just need to get ideas across, go ahead, use DeepL, type your sentence in, keep it simple. It's going to flip it all over to whatever language it needed to be, and then just send it in to the person. It really facilitates communication these days. So don't be afraid. Go ahead and just talk to people.
I'll just to add to that, I think one of the key things is also, before you even take that step into sort of talking to big businesses or anything of that sort, it's about setting up your project's focus, the roadmap, what you want to deliver, how you want to go about it, so that you have a base, right? If you come into the space and you sort of go, well, my aim is to get my anime produced, for example. Okay, but what do you have to show when you do reach out and start having these conversations? So maybe aim smaller in the short term and build towards it, because eventually, yes, you're gonna get that opportunity. You have a good project, the art is nice, but the way this space is moving, and I think Sensei across Paradise, Raul talked about this, that every day there's so many projects popping up now. I know that when we launched in September last year, there were like 6 or 7 projects a week. Now there are 6 or 7 projects a day. So you can just imagine how significantly that's changed, and it's only gonna expand. So I think set up your base. Once that's ready, you can go in to a big company and be like, okay, maybe I don't have the same language, we don't speak the same language, maybe I'm not in the same country as these people, but I have a good product and they want in on this product, right? At the end of the day, from my personal experience, if you talk to production studios, right, they don't necessarily, from what I understand, they don't care if you have a community of 6,000 or 7,000 people who've helped you make 100 pages of manga. They go, you've got a game, you've got a story, you've already got people interested in it. Okay, tell me more, right? They don't want to know that I went on Discord and I did this and this person did this and this is how they helped us. No, we haven't got time for that. We've got 25 scripts on our table. We look at this one. Okay, there's a whole story. It's already been tested. There's almost like you've had this trial amongst people who've enjoyed it. They've given their feedback, whether that's a game, whether that's a manga, an anime, whatever it might be. But you've got the art. You've done all of this work. So all we have to do is adapt it. All right, let's do it. So I think that's super important, building your base and then coming to the approaching part that, Chronic and Dai talked about.
I'll have
Those
to
are some
agree with
solid
that for
points.
sure.
Yeah,
For
most
sure.
definitely.
To add my point of view, I agree. Like, the reaching out is something that like I always encourage. Coming from personal experience, like I find it hard, like sometimes to even reach out, but like the Cardano community has been very easy to do that too. To touch on what Ninjaz was saying, the setting up a base, I agree, is important. I have projects that will hit me up and they're super excited. Their artwork is amazing, but like they just showed up, you know what I mean? So I always I always tell them, you know, like, hey, like I would love to maybe like talk more, but like I'd love to see you like set up your base first. You know what I mean? Like get your first drop done, maybe. Let's talk then, maybe. Or, you know what I mean? Like start building yourself up instead of because what you're gonna do is whenever you start to take these baby steps, it's a lot easier to get to your end goal instead of just shooting your shot all the way to like this huge future goal and not necessarily doing anything to have that work back up with it. So I agree with a lot of these, a lot of what everybody else was saying. And I like to emphasize that like how important it is for you to just take that leap of faith and start talking to people. Make sure you have your assets ready, or at least as many as you can. Make sure not to overpromise anything, and you know, make sure to also like take into account the business side of things as well. Like not just the community, but the business side. Take care of yourself financially. Take care of yourself legally, because you know, there's a lot of ways that you can just end up losing everything just because of a simple thing that you could have avoided. So yeah.
I would like to add also to, as they say, that the Cardano community is really welcoming to people when they are coming and talk to them. So people don't just want a new project without knowing who is behind, not because of lack of trust, but because they really want to know who is behind. They really want to know who is the team, and also think outside of the box. So Cardano community likes innovation. There is no need of doing the same way some other projects have done. It's nice to experiment with marketing. It's nice to experiment how to approach to people, how to let your project known. And so be innovative, and people will appreciate this.
Excellent. Yeah, that's some solid advice there, everybody. Very cool. So now I guess if we were to talk more about Cardano specifically. So we're all here building these NFT projects, manga, anime, all this great artwork on the Cardano blockchain. I wanted to touch on what are some of the things that drew you to Cardano. I know we had mentioned how the community is just incredibly inclusive, but from a technology standpoint, what are some of the benefits that you've experienced with building on Cardano?
I could go if no one else wants to start off.
Go for it.
Okay. Yeah, look, I'll be very honest. We were first introduced to NFTs, both myself and my business partner, Tommy, on Ethereum. That's where we found it. I think a lot of people came across NFTs that way because that market was mature and so on. But very quickly for me, one of the key things was that when we realized that when you mint on Ethereum, let's just say with the blockchain, with the way the blockchain works and the proof of work system, essentially it's really bad for the environment. Whereas Cardano with the proof of stake mechanism, you know, I think there's a number like 0. And Pritesh, you would probably know this number on the top of your head. I don't. But 0.301% of what Bitcoin, you know, the consumption, energy consumption that Bitcoin has, something of that sort. That was the first very big incentive for me personally. When I got introduced to Cardano NFTs, I mean, I'd always had a bag of ADA for quite some time in the crypto space, but that was the first point. The second point was obviously dust, as we call it. So transaction fees are virtually nothing relative to when I minted my first NFT on Ethereum, you know, and it was $250 on gas. And I was like, how are small fish like me making money on this blockchain, right? Because that's how it started off. And then that sort of resulted in the third key point for us, which is, you know, like I've said before as well, I'm an immigrant. I come from a bunch of different, like I've lived in different places, and I know that a lot of people don't have the opportunity outside of like the West and the developed world to go in and mint one NFT for $100 and then pay $250 on gas. But they may have $70 plus like the 30 cents that they're paying on dust. And that opens up the type of crowd that we could get on Cardano. And that's why we decided to come onto Cardano. And, you know, we have community members from all over the world. Similarly, our team is based all over the world. So like if we've got someone in Indonesia and they have to pay $40 to buy an NFT, it's a lot better than $350, right? So that was another reason. And then of course the community aspect, but I'll let someone else add to that.
I'll add to it a little bit. So I got into Cardano because I was doing a lot of research whenever we were all just locked in. I got in before it even switched to proof of stake. So I thought it was a really good opportunity for me to get into something like this, see how it works. I learned that it was peer reviewed and actually tested and researched by actual like accredited colleges. And I thought that was really, really awesome. I witnessed everything come online as they said they would. Everything's been working just fine. You know, everything's working. I've never had a transaction fail. And really, I came on here because I just love the blockchain and love the people that I've met on here. It was a lot more accessible, like Ninjaz was saying, for sure, for somebody like me and for a lot of other people that are just average everyday Joes and didn't get into Ethereum at a very early time, or just, you know, just can't mess around with it. I know for me, I get very frustrated that it takes over 30 minutes to do a transaction and then also get charged as much as I do. Like, to get some, like, and what sucks the most is that you can't use, like, say for instance, I'm trying to withdraw some Ethereum, right? I can't use that Ethereum that I'm trying to withdraw to cover some of that fee. So for all of those reasons and more, that's why I chose Cardano.
Yeah, I started to join Cardano as a developer. So I was testing minting in, I think it was May 2021. So there was space bots that was still early. I was like, oh, come on, it's 200 ADA for one space, but it's too much. I will not pay 200 ADA for a PNG. And while that I was studying Cardano, I saw that as Senpai Abe said also, you don't have to pay fees if you are not sure that the transaction will maybe not go through or something like this. And this is, I think, something really cool. I mean, also the same way that NFT works in a different way in Cardano, you actually hold that token in your wallet. It's not just a part of the code that change in a smart contract. And come on, Cardano is the third generation blockchain. It's innovative. Why not building on that?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, I'm a Cardano stake pool operator, so I've been in this game for quite a long time. I first started with looking at Cardano since 2017 when Ethereum got hacked, right? So, you know, at that point, it's like, you know, blockchain was like, it is still like the Wild West, but it was I found that the software development cycle wasn't very well thought out for something that is, you know, handling people's money, right? So I really took to IOHK's methodological approach and scientific approach and careful approach to how they develop the Cardano blockchain, right? So that's why I've stuck with Cardano for so long. That's why I became a SPO, and that's why I also started an NFT project, right? To go on about what Raul was saying about NFTs being tokens themselves, I find that that's a very unique thing to Cardano, and it's kind of an innovation. Like it's not tied up to a smart contract. You can just send these tokens just like it's any other token, right? Which is actually quite liberating for the token itself. And it doesn't need to be wrapped up in a smart contract. So that's a part of it that I really like. And like what other people have mentioned, you know, it's low cost, and Cardano itself is not on the proof of work, it's on proof of stake. The proof of stake that Cardano is doing is, you know, peer reviewed and it's been proven through mathematical proofs to be secure, right? So, I mean, you know, their approach to everything, it makes it seem like the safest and the best blockchain to sort of develop on, with scalability in mind, right? Hydra's coming soon, you know, so I mean, yeah, interesting things are being built on Cardano in a safe and secure manner.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with all those points that were made, right? Just cheaper transaction costs, native assets on the blockchain without having to have a smart contract. You can mint these NFTs. There's a lot of benefits. So interesting to know all those thoughts. Now, I also wanted to touch on going back to each of your respective projects. So we had talked a bit about your roadmaps, and for anybody who is listening, for our audience, they want to keep up with your progress. They want to learn more about your projects. I know you had mentioned where they can go to learn more, your websites, but just elaborate a little bit more on what we can expect coming up with your projects. What are some of the things, both for your own individual projects as well as for the Cardano project, that you're looking forward to? What are some things that you're excited about going into the rest of 2022?
Raul, you want to go first this time?
Okay, I wanted to go last, but as you invited me to this stage, it's okay. So Sensei Across Paradise actually is launching soon. So we have been making partnership since the end of 2021. And we have been focusing at the beginning as what value we were adding, not just to Cardano, but to the community itself. And we want to push ourselves to learn new stuff, because we want to handle airdrops by our own. So we will make a lot of tests before we want to develop the code in-house. And this is actually, I think, an opportunity not just for us, but also for the projects that are working with us, because they will be able to experiment. They have completely freedom about what NFTs they are going to provide, and also this is our way also to reward the people that love our project and want to know better each of us.
Excellent. And Raul, where can our audience go to learn more? What's the best place? Your socials, your website?
Yeah, I would say our website, so senseiacrossparadise.com. Then you can find all the links to our social, all the links to our partners, and all the frequently asked questions also. So it's the best source.
Awesome.
So I guess for me, I'm doing, like I said, the 3D waifus are coming along. I'm doing some talking to some potential people that in a collab partnership situation that might be able to bring some of these bigger ideas that I'd love to see one day for my project to life in a viable way. Some other things that I'm looking into and exploring is not safe for work stuff, not safe for work content on the blockchain. I think that's something that's really interesting. I look forward to seeing what people do with their 3D waifu files that they have, as well as to the other ones that will drop, as well as new waifus. I actually have a video of the most recent one that's dropped. I can play that a little later here. I'm excited about some collabs that I've done with like Adaroids, Ada Ninjaz, being an airdropper for Sensei Across Paradise. Yeah, I'm excited to see what comes next. But to learn more info, you can check on our website, or you can join our Discord and ask any and all questions you'd like there. And double check the Discord if you would like to join in on the community.
Excellent. You know, Senpai Abe, I think that there's a lot of talk about metaverse, right? And seeing those 3D waifus, right? Just picturing that in the metaverse, I feel like it's going to be something really cool to keep track of.
Oh yeah, and it's really awesome. Like we were saying of how like inviting the Cardano community has been. Being able to talk to some of these metaverse projects is also a really awesome thing. So I'm excited too.
I guess I can go next. So for our project, what we're excited about for this year is just the first release of our game. So it'll showcase some of the NFT utilities that we had in the presentation we had previously. We're really excited just to have to be able to use querying the blockchain as part of sort of how the game sort of builds its assets, so that people that own the NFTs actually will see it in game. That's pretty much the most exciting part, as well as you know, how the story will sort of progress, and hopefully people will like it. And it's sort of nerve-wracking to see what the community's response will be to, you know, things like story and how things will look, right? So I mean, it's both exciting and nerve-wracking, right? So yeah.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I think that one of the best things that we're able to do, right, is just get that feedback. So it's going to be interesting, man. Looking forward to it. But where can people go to keep up with the progress? Website, social media? So
the first thing to go to is projectwights.com. It'll have the links to everything that you need: Discord, Twitter. Yeah, it's all there.
Awesome. All right.
Cool. So I think one of the things that, you know, we've been lucky enough to do this year is release the second music track for the first clan, with 3 incredible artists, Billy Martin from Good Charlotte, Katie Bell, and Iago. And you know, you can listen to that on Spotify right now. And that's continuing to build on our music OST side of things. Obviously, our second manga volume has also come out and is being worked on weekly, with the community putting in input, sort of choosing their own story and direction to help us produce that manga, which is super, super fun. Our first edition of physical manga is out, so you can check that out as well. We have a lot of cool things coming up that I can't reveal, but maybe on our website they've already been revealed. I don't know yet. Yeah, so keep an eye out. You know, we're working super hard on obviously the Ninjaz burn and the smoke NFT that you get in return for that burn. So you will have more information about that. There are a few other announcements that are happening on our end, and of course there is the game side of things, which you're also able to see on our website. And I did change my virtual background so that you could see the website here. So adaninjaz.com. Everything's there: Twitter, Discord. We've got a fandom wiki link where you can read all about the story and the history and all that sort of stuff. So there's tons and tons of pages and information there. And if you have any questions, just head on over to the website. Feel free to reach out to us through Discord. I'm always around. You can always chat to me or anyone else on our team.
All right. Very cool. Excellent information, Jushan. I think that it's going to be exciting just to see the evolution of the project, you know, the game, the music elements, the manga, all that kind of stuff. Looking forward to it. All right, everyone. Well, great conversation today. We talked about all things anime in this episode of the CNFT Festival. So lastly, I wanted to say a big thank you to everybody joining us on this panel, as well as thank you to our audience. Really appreciate you all tuning in for the CNFT Festival. It's been a lot of fun. I've had a great time just being able to speak with members in the community and hopefully bring more awareness about what's being built on Cardano. Also, thank you to Yuri-san, as well as Vic with the Hidden Order for collaborating and putting this all together. It's been a great honor.